welcome back to my channel. My name is Shakira and today I'm going to be reviewing another book that I read from the booktubeathon. So I did participate in the booktubeathon this year, 2018, and I'll leave a link to all of the vlogs in the description box below. When the booktubeathon ended, I made a pledge to myself, a promise to you and myself, that I would review some books that I read, and I decided to pick 3 of them. The first one that I picked was Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo, which went up quite a while ago now. I will leave a link to it below if you want to go and see that, if you want to go and kind of see my thoughts on that book as well. I'm going to be filming the second installment of that today, of my 3 reviews that are coming from my booktubeathon wrap up, and the second installment of the reviews is for Who Run the World by Virginia Bergin. I'm just going to be sharing my thoughts, spoiler free of course. This is a spoiler free zone. For this book, it's gender politics and the controversy that it surrounds. So I gave this book somewhere between a 3 stars and a 3.5 stars on Goodreads for the following reasons. So if you didn't know, this book surrounds a world, a dystopian world if you will, that has a disease that has knocked out all of mankind in, and it's only females that are left. People who live in this kingdom, this world where no men exist, all think that the men are dead until the main protagonist, who is called River, stumbles across Mason, a boy who she thought was dead. The idea of this and the plot of this book very much so surrounds the ideas of political lesbianism, radical feminism and separatism. Unfortunately, it has been proven time and time again that separatism or separatism, I don't even know, you know, these words aren't even coming out of my mouth, I can't speak English today, but it's been proven by people that this theory wouldn't work because obviously some people are straight, some people are bi, some are pan, some are ace, and just separatism doesn't work. That's kind of one of the big issues I think people, and myself included, had with this book. There are a lot of things actually that I had a problem with this book, as much as I did enjoy it, kind of, maybe. I'm still kind of unsure what I really feel about this, but one of the things I didn't agree with, amongst many of them, was the fact that apparently when men were knocked out, war was gone and so was religion. I studied beliefs in sociology at A level, and I know that doesn't make me the be all and end all, it doesn't make me like butter or anything, but from my studies and what I found, what I was taught by my lecturers and tutors, is the fact that women are actually more religious than men. And I don't feel like if men were to do this in real life, in modern day, that religion would be just abolished, because I feel like women would actually become more invested in religion because they could bring it back to more matriarchal religions and not monotheistic religions that are very like patriarchal. I don't necessarily think that religion would be gone, I just feel like they would bring back different religions or make the religions that we have now more matriarchal, which is kind of natural. And obviously the fact that men equals war and masculinity is all about aggression isn't exactly good either. Some people have a problem with this book and the way that River, our main protagonist, deals with Mason when he arrives and as he is presented to her. She calls him an it, and she automatically assumes that men equals rape and war. Also, yeah, you know, as we're getting to that part, massive content warning for rape and stuff like that and sexual assault. If that's a sensitive area to you, even if it isn't, I would really go careful in this book because it is mentioned and there are scenes of it quite often in this book. On to that point, River is always associating him with, you know, rape culture and violence and war. People somehow had a problem with this. Kind of understandable why she refers to Mason as an it. She's grown up in a world where men don't exist and she sees this creature that she has no idea how it works or what happens, and just she doesn't really understand. So I feel like her automatically calling him a he would have been a tad bit unrealistic, and I feel like her calling him an it was part of to make the world more realistic, because realistically you're not gonna be familiar with that if you've never seen a man before. People had a problem with that and called it man-hating and stuff like that, and just feel like it's not man-hating, but again it's not 100% what I would write myself, if that makes sense. I'm not gonna lie, this was one of the most conflicting reads I've probably read in my entire life, and I have read a lot of books about feminism and about like gender politics. I want to read a bunch more, but this had to be one of the most conflicting. That's fitting here because feminism as a theory and as something that we believe in is conflicting. Being a feminist, you're almost always in arguments and conflicts with people and even yourself, and I feel like this book really made me question what I personally believe feminism is, whether this book is man-hating, and if the roles were reversed, what I would think of it. Also in this novel, the act of reproduction and making other humans isn't really explored. We get told that IVF is a thing, but I'd really be curious in the fact that how does that work? How do they make sure that there's no men left? Like, it just feels like it's a bit fabricated fabricated, and like I would have loved more detail on the specifics of the world. As River has preconceived like definitions of gender and stuff, and like she's never seen a man, so does Mason. And I feel like in the reviews of this on Goodreads that have conflicted me and has been causing controversy about this read, they don't really talk about Mason's side of it as well, because he's quite derogatory towards women too. I feel like this had all good intentions and it had some miscommunications with the audience. I feel like this is satire. I don't feel like the author actually thinks this way. I'm not sure, I can't say with confidence, but it feels like it is very just not real. It's just kind of flipping the situation on its head if men were in the situation that women were in. For some reason, loads of people are angry that the fact that men are now in this situation in a fictional world, apparently that's hating on men and man hate, and feminism is not man hate and stuff like that. Women go through stuff like this every day. Like, we're made to feel like we're lesser because of our sex, gender. We're really made to feel like we don't belong. And yeah, it's not exactly nice what this book does to the man, but I don't feel like it was man-hating as such. Don't get me wrong, it's not the greatest book in the world, as I'm going to get onto in a minute for gender politics. But again, I feel like it tried to do something good, but it was often miscommunicated. As a lot of the Goodreads reviews have said, and I actually really agree with, this book would have been so much better as a dual perspective between River and Mason, or even just the men on the other side of the spectrum. Like, because obviously Mason's come from somewhere, maybe that would have been better, like flipping between them both. That's what I feel like, and I think a lot of people who read this and rated it a certain amount of stars on Goodreads feel as well. Although I did kind of have a self-conflicting thing with the Goodreads reviews of this, I actually did pick up on something that they really said. This has so much trans erasure that it's unbelievable. It's very much so like cisgendered men, women, that's the only two things, like we can separate them kind of thing. But gender is a spectrum. It's really complicated for some people, and it isn't always as simple as being a man or being a woman. It does kind of tap into that at the end, no spoilers, but it kind of does a little bit, but not to the extent that we would like and that feminism has grown to be. Like, I feel like this isn't moving along with the times. Maybe this was written in a time that being trans or like a gender discussion wasn't as talked about. Sometimes it isn't as black and white as man and woman, because obviously we have people who are trans, we have people who are non-binary, gender fluid, and all of the other gender identities and even sex identities that are out there that this book just misses. So there was my review of Who Run the World by Virginia Bergin. I still don't really know how to pronounce her name. There was my review of it. I did give it somewhere between a 3 and a 3.5 stars on Goodreads. Please pick this up and let me know what you think of it. Please let me know if you've already read it in the comments section below, because I'm still quite conflicted about this. I liked it because of its like messages. It really showed and flipped the subject matter on its head. Like, what if we lived in a matriarchy? Let me know what you think. I'm very conflicted still, and I really need some opinions other than the ones on Goodreads. Thank you so much for watching. If you like my review of this, please give it a massive thumbs up and subscribe. I post on this channel every single Tuesday, and I also have a different channel as well where I post every Monday for weekly vlogs and Wednesday for main channel content. Obviously this isn't a Tuesday, but I wanted to get this up, and my other installment of the reviews, Warcross by Marie Lu, will be up sometime next week or the week after, sometime in the rest of August. There was my review. I hope that you really enjoyed, and I will see you next week or whenever I post next. Thank you so much for watching. Bye guys!
You've got a face for a smile, you know. A shame you're wasted when you're breaking me slowly, but I've got a word